Ayo, this is Lonegevity with bringingdowntheband.com and the New Old Heads podcast. And today we're going to talk about SoundCloud and streaming and royalties related to all that. So let's kind of jump into this. SoundCloud recently announced that, we'll go ahead and pull this up. SoundCloud recently announced, as of yesterday, that they were going to introduce and try out an experimental idea of fan-powered royalties. This idea is to hopefully help medium-sized independent artists gain more money from streams, as opposed to all this money going into a big pot and most of it going towards more of the mega stars, if you will. Let's kind of go through their website real quick and see kind of what they're talking about. So, how streaming services pay artists today. Money from your dedicated fans goes into a giant pool that's paid out to artists based on their share of total streams. That model mostly benefits megastars. How fan-powered royalties work. You get paid based on your dedicated fans' actual listening habits. The more fans listen on SoundCloud and listen to your music, the more you get paid. Now, this is based upon specific ad revenue made from your listens if you're an artist, or people that are actually subscribed to you. From an artist standpoint and from a consumer standpoint, if you're just a consumer and you love music, you want to support your artists, or if you are an artist, independent artist, and you're curious, like, how does this affect you? I will say that this is definitely a better model than it was in the past, because it gives artists a little bit more direct money from a little bit more control. I mean, it's kind of the illusion of control, but it does give artists a little bit more back-end revenue if you're in that mid-tier of artist range. So I've just pulled up an article from The Verge, which kind of details all the details. And so we'll read this and then we'll kind of talk about it a little bit and go into a little bit more depth. So SoundCloud's trying something new for a major music streaming service, paying indie artists the share of their actual listener subscription fees. The company calls this fan-powered royalties, and it means a SoundCloud subscriber subscription fee or advertising revenue from listening to that artist will be divvied up among the artists they actually listen to, rather than going into a big pot and being split up among the platform's most popular artists. This is a major change for the industry and one indie artists have pushed for. Currently, most streaming platforms reward the world's biggest stars with the most royalties. At Spotify, for example, the company figures out how many streams happened on its platform in a given country, and then calculates what portion of those streams went to a specific artist. The result is that smaller artists who might not have massive reach but also have a dedicated, loyal audience end up not making much money because they represent a smaller portion of the overall streams. SoundCloud says today that its new system will change that. It specifically cites one musician who has 124,000 followers. Again, so like I'm saying, this is medium range artists, not small. And with the old model, this artist made $120 a month. But with fan-powered royalties, he makes $600. So in that idea right there, that is definitely beneficial. It does make it less of a group pot approach and more of a direct model. So it's more personalized, if you will. So for now, SoundCloud hasn't worked out a deal with the three major record labels, Warner, Sony, or Universal, but it's able to implement this model with indie artists. It directly monetizes through its SoundCloud Premiere, Repost by SoundCloud, and Repost Select tiers. These services make SoundCloud the distributor of the music, either only on SoundCloud or on other music streaming services too. The nearly 100,000 artists who participate in these programs will be the first to experience fan-based royalties. They'll receive their first payouts after April 30th of this year, because I believe it's going to start on April 1st. It's unclear how SoundCloud will balance the royalties with its payouts of the major music labels, or how it will divvy up a licensor's revenue. But for now, this feels experimental. If it's successful, artists could advocate for more platforms to take this model on, and if not, then the streaming platforms can continue with the status quo, possibly to the detriment of smaller artists. So overall, I feel like this is probably a step in the right direction. I personally believe, as a music producer and artist and somebody who's kind of been in the music industry on an independent level on multiple sides of the spear for a very long time, that the best thing that independent artists can do is own and control as much of their work as possible. And even though streaming platforms are necessary because that's how people consume music now, models such as Bandcamp, Patreon, where you have direct access to the people that want your material, those type of models, I believe, are the future. But if streaming can get to a point to where artists have a little bit more control over how their revenue comes in, because right now artists are pretty much kind of stuck, right? Artists need streaming platforms because that's how people consume music. And so all of the power is in the streaming platforms right now. They can pretty much dictate everything. An artist can pull their music off and they can sell it independently, but it's not really going to affect the overall market of anything. So this model right here is a step in the right direction for artists. And I would be curious to see if this gets adapted to a streaming platform that people use a little bit more. SoundCloud doing this may help their model grow back into what it was a little bit more. Post-blog era, SoundCloud really kind of hasn't had quite the foothold in the music industry as it kind of did for a while. So maybe this will help it be more of a voice for independent artists. What I always suggest as fans of musicians, it's great to stream people's music. If you come to Bringing Down the Band and you're streaming music on this channel or our music channel, you know, it's monetized by the copyright holders. So that means that the artists are getting paid off of it. But at the same time, it is much more important for you to click that link in the description and go buy that music, or go to their Bandcamp page, or go to their website or their Patreon page and support them. If you really want to support these artists, buy their music, you know. So I'm happy that our system set up here allows us to monetize for artists. It's something we've always wanted to do. But if you really want to support an artist, click that link and go buy their music. It's getting better slowly, but it's still a long ways away. Again, I'm Lonegevity with Bringing Down the Band, music producer, educator, all those good things. Feel free to follow me on social media at Lonegevity, or join our Discord and chat with us, bringingdowntheband.com/community, and check out our live podcasts. Every Tuesday, we have the New Old Heads from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. And on Fridays from 8 to 10, I do a backstage interview series with artists, and we sit down and talk about their personal lives and music and all that good stuff. So check that out at twitch.tv/newoldheads. But until next time, drop your comments. Let us know what you think. And peace.